Do not put yourself under oath at all, but let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. How's that for an idea? But the Freemasons' yes means no, because they all swear to lie and conceal from the first degree initiation all the way through. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim it from the rooftops. That's Jesus. You see the contrast? How precise he was and still is. You think Bono and the Pope don't know about the Masonic calendar and how it's not the same calendar as ours? From the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry, the real date of the world is found by adding 4000 to the Vulgar era. This whole Christian era is vulgar. So the year in the Masonic world is actually 6021. And this abbreviation is in French, the Vulgar era, beginning since the year of the Lord, since the year of Jesus Christ. That's how they feel about the current age, which is coming to a mind-blowing end by design. Now, do you think Freemasons aren't capable of mass murder? Well, Joseph Stalin murdered approximately 20 million people, and he was a Freemason, displaying the sign of the master of the second veil of Freemasonry. Vladimir Lenin was the leader of the Bolshevik Party, and he paved the way for the mass murder of 60 million people, mostly Christians, and he was a proud Freemason. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Adolf Hitler, a Freemason, clearly giving the grip of a Master Mason. And here he sits next to his military leader, Hermann Göring, who is also displaying his allegiance to Freemasonry with a hidden hand. He even displays the Masonic triangle, just like fellow Masonic brother Jay-Z. The mind of Hitler surrounds you now. It just hasn't pounced yet. The mind of Hitler isn't isolated to some portion of the world anymore. It now encompasses you. Hitler is everywhere. Far more clever than you can imagine. Evolved and sleeping in your bed. It's easy to say that's impossible. Once upon a time, 70 million Germans adored him. Once upon a time, Hitler was named Man of the Year by Time magazine. You've been fooled by the satanic machine. Please don't try to get inside to the mind of Freemasonry. It's like trying to understand Satan himself. You can't, and you don't want to. Freemasons will make friends with their most hated enemies. They will cross-dress their morals to move closer to their goal. They'll make the English language void of any meaning by turning everything inside out and upside down to camouflage its objectives. They will simultaneously create charities along with the greatest machines to ever destroy the hearts of men, like pornography. They will sell their souls to gain the world. They are a dichotomy, a paradox, a lie that loves to speak the truth and a truth that loves to lie. They are a snake eating their own tail, consuming what they produce. Freemasonry is hell dressed as heaven, death dressed as life. Its God is an angel of darkness dressed as an angel of light, and 90% of its membership is a shield, lost in its symbolism. Freemasonry has become the ally and the opposition. Who are the biggest voices on so-called climate change in recent years? Which is more order out of chaos? Al Gore, a Freemason, and Greta Thunberg, from a Jesus-hating secret society family. Freemason and former Russian President Mikhail Gorbachev said this in 1996. Yes, the whole world is under the control of the evil one, like the Gospels say. Freemasonry controls the opposition, with the most popular conspiracy theorists, Alex Jones and David Icke, both banned, yet both secretly Freemasons, who will lead you in every direction except into the arms of the ultimate power of the Gospels. Every noteworthy religion is comfortably caught in the Masonic net, because they all stem from a lie. Here's the Dalai Lama with a bunch of Freemasons. He just loves hanging out with famous people. Here he's throwing up the devil's horns with Freemason Gene Simmons. But there's no way the Dalai Lama can be a Freemason, right? Well, here he is displaying the hidden hand of the Freemasons next to George W. Bush, a fellow brother. That's right, the Dalai Lama is a Freemason, under an oath of silence and sworn to secrecy. Are you going to wake up now? Here he is with his students in his temple. And what's behind him? This symbol, can you see? The pyramid with the emanating eye on top, symbolized by a sun, which you know now is the phallus of the god of this world, shooting forth his generative light, his mystical sperm that gives life, and whose one eye transcends good and evil, both of which are just illusions of the mind. Understanding this comes by initiations, and yes, tantric initiations are used in Tibetan Buddhism. Gerald York was the Dalai Lama's emissary, his personal representative to the West, and he was personal friends with 33rd degree Freemason and Satanist Aleister Crowley, who wrote 20 essays named Aleister Crowley, The Golden Dawn, and Buddhism. And he also served as a consultant to the movie Lucifer Rising, the Dalai Lama's representative. See how the eye can also be represented by the sun, caught behind the moon in this movie poster. That's just like the Dalai Lama's logo. And here's a scene from the movie with the Masonic square and compass hidden in plain sight. Look at the symbol of Buddhism, and look at the floor inside every Masonic lodge, symbolizing opposites and equilibrium, which creates life, and where evil is not what it seems, it's necessary. Why do you think the New Age author Christopher Hyatt, who writes that the Grand Vicar of Lord Lucifer is soon to be crowned Prime Minister of the world, notes in that same book his appreciation of Nietzsche, the man who states that the Christian is the sick animal man, the Zohar, which is witchcraft, and Buddha. These are the people he appreciates. Why does he lump Buddha into the same basket? I'll tell you why right now. Because in his highest manifestation, the Buddha, seeing the illusionary world through the all-seeing eye, his third eye, would not interrupt a rape if he happened to walk by, so as to stay detached from the karmic cycle. Whereas Jesus, knowing everything and more than the Buddha, would sacrifice himself, because he was born to destroy evil, not transcend it. So tell me, who would you rather have walk by if you were being raped? A transcendental meditator or Jesus Christ? Whatever you think of me, you'll have to reconcile the fact that all the leaders of the world, from Scott Morrison to the Dalai Lama, belong to the very same secret society as Adolf Hitler did, Freemasonry. The secret religion no one speaks about, for good reason, and by good I mean very, very evil. What do you think is going on here? I've told you almost exactly what's going on. We're in a lot of trouble, because in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, and Hitler, Stalin, and Lenin combined will be child's play compared to what's just ahead. Now here's a point-blank picture of the future and the reality of their most brutal truth from the 33rd degree Freemason Aleister Crowley's The Book of the Law. We have nothing but the outcast and the unfit. Let them die in their misery. Compassion is the vice of kings. Stamp down the wretched and the weak. This is the law of the strong. Do you see? Can you see the future yet? Now please pay attention from his other book, Magic in Theory and Practice. This is what all the degrees of initiation are for. And this is what it takes for them to create the New World Order. He speaks of the initiation in the true order of the Rosy Cross. Rosy Cross being another name for the Order of the Rosicrucians. Remember the guys that built this? Now this is a 33rd degree Freemason speaking. It is extremely desirable that he should have attained an absolute degree of moral emancipation. That is purity of spirit and perfect understanding. I've shown you this over and over. Because the world is full of evil, they mimic the morals of nature, because they are the true morals of the true God of this world. That's purity to them. That's true honesty and perfect understanding. Evil is good. That's the moral emancipation he's speaking of. Now watch this and brace yourself, because this is the future. There is a magical operation of maximum importance, the initiation of a new eon. When it becomes necessary to utter a word, the whole planet must be bathed in blood. This bloody sacrifice is the critical point of the world ceremony of the proclamation of Horus, the crowned and conquering child, as Lord of the Eon. I've shown you that secret societies participate in the science of blood rituals. Well, this is what it climaxes into. A massive blood ritual in the name of the new eon, the new age, which revolves around a divine plan not of this world, as confessed by all of them. You are not who you think you are. You are not where you think you are. Do you see it? Can you fathom? And what blood means in this world? So much more than what you may have known before now. Blood sacrifice is of the utmost importance. It's what the beings in the other realm require, desire. We can't fully understand it. But do you see how the blood sacrifice of Jesus Christ takes on a whole new meaning now? A very real meaning. And guess what? Because of it, the good guy really does win in the end. You either fall under the blood of the world or under the blood of him. There is no middle ground. Blood is like the monetary currency of the spirits. And that's how God bought us back from the legal ownership of the ruler of this world with blood, his own blood. Now you can begin to understand why they hate him so much. Because that's why he was born into the world of flesh, to produce blood of his very own. Not by means of perishable things were you set free once and for all, by the payment of ransom money, but by costly blood, by the one who was visibly manifested at the closing years of the times, for your sake. That is the truth. Do you think it's just a coincidence that this is the last age before the long planned for new order of the ages? That's ages, plural. That means forever. That's the plan. That's why the Gospels say that he was visibly manifested at the closing years of the times, at the end of this last age. In the book 1984, George Orwell told us, if you want a vision of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. I've shown you that this so-called new age is in actuality a new satanic age. And it's not really new at all. It's very old indeed, it's ancient. But like I said, its progress was derailed by the appearance of Jesus on the human scene. Now I'll prove to you that the New Age is an old religion. Novus Ordo Seclorum is part of a quotation taken from the Roman pagan philosopher Virgil's fourth eclogue, which was borrowed by him from the Sibylline records, which were ancient prophecies delivered by an oracle through witchcraft or divination. That's where the phrase Novus Ordo Seclorum comes from. Now look at what the full phrase actually says. A mighty order of ages is born anew. Both the prophetic virgin and Saturnian kingdoms now return. Now a new progeny is led down from the lofty heavens. Favour, chaste Lucina, the boy soon to be born, in whom the iron age shall come to an end, and the golden one shall arise in the whole earth. We've just been told that the New Age is a Saturnian kingdom, which returns. So it's been here before. Next we see that a new progeny, meaning a new seed, a new race, there's that race again, is coming to earth. And that a boy will be born, who will bring the Iron Age, which is the age we're currently in, to an end. And that the Golden Age, the New Age about to begin, will again arise over the whole world. Now what is the Saturnian kingdom? Well, for starters, this is a band called Saturnian Mist. And here on their front cover, we have a reference to magic. Then we see by the singer's shirt, they're Satanists. Then with his other shirt, we see the connection once again between the inverted pentagram of Satanism and the one eye of Freemasonry, the secret religion of the who's who of planet Earth. Freemason and Satanist Marilyn Manson has a song called Saturnalia, and on a satanic website on ritual offerings for demonic bindings, we find that Satan is Saturnian in nature. Here on the front page we see the inverted pentagram under the head of the Baphomet, and right next to it, a version of the square and compass of the Freemasons, of which a lodge is located near a suburb near you, no matter where on earth you live. The Satanic Church hidden in plain sight. Now let's go straight to the source so you can see for yourself the nature of the New Age Saturnian kingdom found in the full quote of the